Hello, everyone. This is Grand Madam. I think while we were sleeping, or while I was busy, we have gone through another energy shift. And I'm using my chimes this morning to calm my nerves. Welcome. Um, it feels different right now. Uh, it's rainy outside, so it's a little humid. So we have a little mugginess. That's not what I'm talking about. The sleep sickness or the sleeping in me is gone. Uh, and now I'm sleeping right through the night. Shoop, no disturbance. And excuse me, allergies are pretty much the same though. But it's a pressure. It's not a pressure. Excuse me. Excuse me. That I feel has been lifted. Hey, Kamoyo King, how are you? Don't know what it is. So I'm just gonna hang tough until I can recognize it and identify it. In the meantime, I'm going to what? Stay grounded and just watch things as they go by. I think that is the Buddhist way. It's also the Hindu way. The middle way, it's called, the path of the middle way. And sometimes I think that's the smartest thing that we can do. Um, there are forces out there who are trying to manipulate us into taking sides to a situation that's ancient. But also, what I'm seeing is that this whole situation is interconnected with other situations on the globe. Um, and it may be a prime example of what's been off with the world, off with nature for over 4,000 years, which is a lot of time to us, but in the history of things, not so much. Uh, what it really looks like to me is that something has just come in like a whirlwind and just is swooping out or staring up a lot of things that have really been kind of bubbling up over the last 4,000 years. And now they've hit the boiling point and they're spewing out all over the place, all over everything. No one is untouched. So, which goes back to my what advice to stay grounded, stay grounded. The only thing we can do is allow it to go by. Now, some things we're going to have to stand up and stand on, or stand up and knock down. Okay, because we're going into a shift here. Um, the everyday spy Andrew Bustamante, he keeps saying he's moving his kids out of the United States within the next few years before 2030. Well, that's just 6 years, folks, and he's doing that because he sees where the United States is being closed down. He said shut down, and which means he said, I want my kids to have all the opportunities this world has to offer, and I won't be able to do that with them here in the United States, which is a mouthful to say and a mouthful to hear. Um, let's take a look into that. What is this energy shift we're about right about now? What are we in now? Let's see what's a good question. What is the United States going to look like within the next 5 years? Within the next 5 years. Uh, oh, let's start with the higher oracle deck. The United States tarot team. Well, what the tarot team is saying, yes, but I don't think we can do that. There'll be more energy shifts. Okay, next year. That we can do. Let's do that then. Okay, next year. Hey, always Kia. How are you? Okay, so we're going to look at the United States within this time in 1 year to see what to expect because there's been another energy shift. And I know in the fall there are a lot of seasons of energy shifts. We call them eclipses and the full moons and the holidays. Yes, holidays are portals, darlings. Don't let anybody fool you. So let's see what we can expect. What is the energy around us? What is the attitude, prevailing attitude around and about the United States for the next year? I'm using the higher oracle deck. Now, it's going to tell us how to behave. So by telling us how to behave, it's going to tell me what to expect, what's going on, okay? I know that sounds backwards logic. It's not. Call it it's like a mirror reflective logic, I guess you would call it, or reflective thinking. Okay, the United States and next by next year. What is it going to look like? What is it going to look like? I'll take it from the top. They said, okay. Oh boy. So there's going to be a lot of confusion. Look at this. As for guidance, there's a lot of layers to what we're seeing that we do not understand. hmm Oh, it's something I want to tell you so badly, but I know not to say it. I will just say, maybe I can talk in code. Um, the patriarchy is dismantled. It's being dismantled. It's being exposed. It was only 4,000 years on the planet. It was a philosophy. It is not ordained by God. It was just somebody's politics who wanted to be a colonizer and take over the world. Okay. To do this, it had to knock the female off her pedestal, off her game. I got you, Kia. Off her game because she stood in the way. She stood in the way because she had the power to stand in the way. So she's been taken from what? Empress, goddess, down to administrator, queen, down to relegated down to skull maiden. So that's got to be restored. So that balance is going to come back into place because things have been off balance for the last 4,000 years. So that's one thing. And I do believe one horrific example of patriarchy gone wild is happening right now in the Middle East. Pick your country or your grouping of people. One is the toxic masculine, the other is the toxic feminine. Pick your country. Um, One is dealing with extreme aggression, one is dealing with extreme victimization. Moving right along. I love these cards. Yeah, we're going to be restored. Help is on the way. How we can be restored, and I mean, that's microcosm, macrocosm to the microcosm. We're talking color. What we now in the comic books, in comic book world, it would be an Avengers level. Uh, what is it? Avengers level problem, catastrophe. This is a uh, humanity level problem that has to be balanced out. And it can be. I'm thinking of what we should do, how we can deal with this. We can't deal with it directly at all. All we can deal with is our thinking. Maybe go back to the ancient ways before they were where there was the patriarchy to try to get things in balance, trying to mix the old ideas and update them with new ideas. An example of this is my sound healing. Sound healing is an alternative medicine. It is ancient. Before they were doctors, they were sounds. Now, some kind of way, we have allopathic medication, medicine. meaning doctors and nurses and blah blah blah, tech and all that good stuff. Bring that sound healing, the ancient ways into the new ways to update. This is just an example, but that's the kind of way we're going to have to learn how to balance where we live right about now. I hope I'm not getting complicated. If I am, say something, please, because this has been on my mind. And as I read these cards, we're not alone in this. It's a global thing. And the boys and girls upstairs who volunteer to help us will be helping us. Yeah. Yeah. You telling me that? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's colonization to the nth degree. That's all it is. But we believe that we were born into it. So when you're born into something, you don't know any better, right? Now we have to identify it and autocorrect. That's exactly it, Kamayo. We autocorrect. Um, but we're getting, there is pushback. There's pushback. I was thinking of, here I go again, back to my comics, the Black Panther. Someone complained that he was surrounded by women. Well, to that someone who complained about the Dora Milaje, the Queen Mother and his sister, the most successful men in the world to this day are surrounded by women, not just his wife, his mother, his sister, auntie, more than likely a lawyer, some females. There's always a group that sustain him and keep him out there where he is. And in turn, he protects and takes care of all of them. But he is his strength, his power comes from those women. That's a Hindu concept. Your director? Really? Ooh. And you know what always is that where not the female secretary came from? Because secretaries were men first. That is a Hindu concept. Well, let's put it this way. That's a spiritual concept. I learned that in Hinduism. In India. Now I don't you have to separate sometimes the religion from the people and the spiritual concepts. Let's just say in that part of the world, woman is the symbol of prosperity. So if you have a wife, you will be seen as a rich man. Yep, yep. That's that part of the world. Okay, and that's never been a bad thing. That was the balance of things. That's the balance of things. A lot of stuff we believe in, we think is so spiritual. It's not. It's political. It's geopolitics. But unless you study that stuff or read that stuff, because it's out there to be pulled down now to look at, when you look at the history of stuff, and if you look at the mythology, look at the history of a country and its mythology, and you will see the same story be played over and over again. Well, we can look at the Bible for that. Same story. It's like, when are people going to learn? In the meantime, okay. So we're trying to restore, this is what I'm saying, go back to the ancient ways before we got disrupted. And we're not going to be alone in this, our shift. When in doubt, ask for guidance, ground and pray, or ground and chant, because help is there. And there is a vision that's going to be fulfilled. Hmm. I'm from the part of the vision that says heaven can be brought to earth to make heaven on earth. There's some other folks who have a different vision. Okay. I'm not dealing with them. Which is why I say, go within, ground, and get your directions from your higher ups, your guardian angels, your guides. They will not steer you wrong. Hmm. Um, Let me keep going. We're going with the flow. Going with the flow. Stay neutral. Is it Switzerland? Listen carefully to what's going on, especially in the news. Especially in the news. Um, you're not alone. Okay. See the little folks in the red robes behind her? We're not alone, folks. So, what that basically means, there folks are watching. Folks who can do things are watching. All we have to do, oh, look at this. Yeah, we're going to have to practice some forgiveness and we're going to have to ask for help. Yeah, ask for help and forgive. Don't be hard on yourselves. Forgive others who have hurt you. Forgive yourself for allowing yourself to be hurt in the first place. And forgive yourself for other stuff you may have put into motion. And then move on. It's not something you linger with. You don't have to hang around for, and I'm sorry. You just forgive it. The Ho'oponopono Hawaiian prayer um, is very popular now. You can find it on YouTube. It looks like it's spelled Hop Ono, Hop Ono. That's exactly the way it's spelled. Ho space Pono space Pono again. Um, Someone asked, well, why don't we have our own forgiveness prayer? We probably do. Who's going to translate it? Who's going to read it? We don't know. Which means there's going to be a sense of patience we're going to need to exercise with ourselves and others. Went out this morning um, with a friend to the doctor's office in this rainy, nasty weather, and these people were driving like they were running stoplights. They were dancing in and out of lanes. I mean, you could. I am not kidding. One car, two lanes, heavy traffic, slippery roads. That's the way it was going, and that's the way it was coming back. All this creative driving. People are not getting it. When things are shifting the way they are, stay the course, stay steady. No coloring out of the lines because you don't know what you might set off. Yeah, and expect the unexpected. Okay. So moving right along, I still don't see. It's like the energy is. These cards are telling us how to be during this shift. That's exactly what they're doing. So it's going to be some chaos. Acceptance, yes, acceptance. Acceptance is going to be big because you know what? Now I'm going to sound a little woo woo. I do believe. Well, what do? I read cards. I interact with energies people call spirits. I play with sounds. I also study physics, urban planning, and some other things, whatever crosses my path. So I'm one of those logical mystics, I guess you would call me, but I call a spade a spade. And with these energy shifts are coming glacial. Yeah, I'm talking about those big chunks of ice like in Antarctica and the North Pole. Those things are melting. As they melt, things are being released from them. So far, we're just talking about diseases, okay, viruses, bacteria. There might be other living things that have found their way here too. Because with an energy change, with an energy shift, there's a timeline shift. Not only are you different, but the people you interact with are different. It may look this. Oh, I haven't finished the reading. It may look the same, but things are not the same. And I am noticing, maybe for the first time, people with no souls or people who act like they don't have souls. And they're the scariest beings I've ever seen. And I'm a Godzilla fan. Um, they have no light shining from them whatsoever. They look like a walking, talking black hole. And they're wearing all black. I wear all black because it takes away it shows the less fat, okay? And it's sexy. But when your outfit is black and the space around you is black, and you're not casting a shadow in all this sunlight. What are you? So, like I said, some other things have been released. Some other beings have been released. Um, just stay grounded, prayed up, and chanted up, or chant the same thing, because they're out here too. They're out here too. Um, People are frustrated because life is not what it used to be, and they're very angry about that. Well, angry, yeah, because you're scared, you're hurting. The direction you've taken has not taken you where you wanted to be. You're worried, scared to death about the change. Nothing you can do about it. So the best thing to do is ground yourself in nature. So let's take a look to see what we can expect with some of these cards. One of the first things we see is that colonialism and the patriarchy is falling, not completely fallen yet. But then we're going to have to be concerned about what replaces it, because there's always the opportunity that what replaces it can be a million times worse. I don't believe that's so, because I sense there's going to be much more contact and discussion and interactions with spiritual beings, our angels, deities, or whatever you want to call them, and your group. And they will be guiding this, and this time we're going to let them. Did you hear me? This time we are going to let them guide us because things are just that screwed up. Now, in the United States, there is an attack on our first damn amendment: free speech, free assembly, you know, your religion. Yeah. And that's another thing. I've been saying for the last few months, if not for the last few years, there's a foreign element to all this change that's going on in this country, and it's taken the country down from the inside out. And it's being done with theories, ideas, belief systems. Folks, let me explain this. I was a speech communication major. Public speaking is my thing. I can do theater with it. I can get up and do a presentation. I can teach a classroom. I can do a lot with that. I can write you something. I can write a manifesto. I can write you a letter that would leave you glowing, even though you might be the worst person in the world. I can take, without lying, I can take those words that show that you are a complete asshole and make you look incredible. That's what I can do. You have other people who work for public relations firms, marketing firms especially. And I'm beginning to see techniques that I was taught to use being used in social media and in the media. So, oh, I'm getting ready to lose my train of thought. They better be glad I'm older. Um, Whenever you hear or see something that looks great or looks right, but it makes you feel some kind of strange feeling, or that you just sense it's imbalanced, that means there's something underneath of that statement that has been made that has a totally different meaning from what you're hearing, seeing, or perceiving. When you hear an innocent line that starts to make your skin crawl or the hair stand up on your arms, you know something's wrong. Okay? Just that's FYI, because right now you really cannot trust the media. And I was in the media, the news media at one time. And I'm just shocked and appalled. You can only trust your own, uh, what I do. I and this is they tried to block with this too. I use several different forms of news outlets that I look into. I got them on my list, and they notify me that there's something going on. And some of them are uh, not American, and some of them are not Western. They all have to be English because, unfortunately, that's the only language I have that I can read. Well, I can read some Spanish and maybe even a little Portuguese with a Latin back. I have a Latin background. Kudos to the Catholic Church. You have to study that Latin. I can break things down that way. But it's time for us really to start learning some languages that we see in the newspaper or in the newspaper. I just aged myself in the news today because it's even being reported that one prime minister was saying one thing in English to the English representative, and right there with him standing there, turned and said something totally different to his person who was like him. I always felt like my aunt is over my shoulder. Oh, yeah, 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 yes, exactly, Kamoyo. Pay attention to that. They're here trying to help us and keep us out of trouble, but we want to be pigheaded. No, we want to do what we want to do. So we pretend, no, that's not real. Look, I had a great grandmother that I had passed along the way long before I was born. I saw a picture of her in a dress um, that we actually wore back in the 70s. I had a dress like that. It was the bib, white collar bib with the trim through it. It was a green trim, and the rest of the dress was my dress was green. Well, hers, I found a picture, had the white collar bib. It was a sleeveless dress, had a what yellow trim along the beard. I mean, along the boundaries, the bib, and it was a black dress. Okay, went to the mall. Was I at Macy's? Macy's, the head company, makeup, something like that. Walked in the door with my girls, and there's the mannequin wearing great grandma's dress. I said, "Look, that's the dress great grandma the great grandma Marietta wore." And and that dress was way out of my price range. I got a kiss up here, and I know, thank you. It was her. I know it was her. I know it was her. And whenever I do mediumship, for some people, the grandmothers, they kiss me every time, and I know I was right on. Okay, I know I was right on. However, and I'm like, my grandmother's over there, my mom and my dad are over there now too. They've been very lenient with me because with my grandfather, I don't know what he was doing, but that might be something different. They always kiss us because there's also something that'll right beside your head, quick, fast, and in a hurry. But I, like my grandfather, I don't know what was going on. We lived in a haunted house that just did not want black people in it, and the spirits were in there running us out, and they would resort to things like going upside your head or trying to break your damn arm. So saying that to say this. Yeah, pay attention to the folks, your loved ones, when they're trying to tell you something, whether they're here or on the other side. Okay? Not everything over there is demonic. Folks, not every angel is good and not every demon is bad. And I hope you don't have to make that distinction ever one day. But when you're doing work like the kind of things that I do, that's when you have to make the distinction. You have to learn. But if you're just a layman, you just keep your guardian angels with you. That's all you have to do. And listen when they talk. So now I'm going to pick up. I have the rider weights. What what is the United States going to be like in a year from now? Let's see, what can we expect a year from now? Okay, okay, Tarot team. They said they could handle that. Oh, they said we got this. Okay, they said we got this. So this it. One more shuffle. Oh, no more. No. How about this? Okay, let's see what they have to say. Overall energy. Ooh, we have Queen of Wands, determination. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm going to use all the seduction, beauty, and I'm charm I'm going to get. I need to, that I have to do it. You met your grandpa? Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool. Ah, you're going to use that determination. That determination is going to be used in the U.S. because people have been getting anything but what they've been asking for. We've got 3 cups. Let's say there's been a settlement of three different times, and here's a fourth time, and this time folks are going to say, "No, I don't want that. I just don't want that. That's not what I expect." Because of the great transformation, the great changes. So there are going to be major changes. I'll put it to you like this. This is where the meek inherit the earth because all those special privileges are out the window for everyone. So now I'm sensing a feeling of more, less queenship and more egalitarian groupship. Here's the man. Now, King of Pentacles, this is about materialism. This is about money, which is how it was run in the past. The United States is known for money first. And that seems to be moving in the past. The resources are going to be important. So that looks to me, they're saying struggle for resources. Wow, that's not good. Collaboration. This is the Three of Pentacles. Okay. I'm not meaning to scare you, so folks, just start saving your stuff and buying some pasta and put it in the pantry and some oats, dried oats. Maybe this is a good time to dehydrate some vegetables. Hmm. And then ground yourselves and be ready because we're going to lose some resources. And look, here's Miss Materialism. We have the King and the Queen of Pentacles. This is everything for the love of money, everything to stash and get money. Materialism. That's in our now. But the captains of industry are falling. They're like a, and this is like, and it's falling in past position. So the captains of industry seem to be becoming a thing of the past. I'm not saying we're going Mad Max, no. Mm-mm. And look at this, Seven of Wands. There's going to be a lot of we're going to be people are going to be at opposite sides. They're going to be trying to defend themselves. This is defense. Let's see what the other one looks like. The Hermit, isolation. Okay. So someone is going to defend themselves by isolating themselves from others. So the U.S. is going to pull back in. It's going to pull in from its borders. Whoa. So it's going to what? They're telling me it's going to centralize, but it's going to centralize from within. It's going to Illinois. I don't know what that was, but someone's at the door. One moment, please. Excuse me. Think in terms of centralizing the country. Oh, Sorry, folks. They banging on my door like they're the police scared me to death. Centralizing, centralization. It's like everything is going to be coming out of Midwest resources. Uh, what? It used to be where the bread, the grains, the wheat was grown. What's to centralize? Oh boy. American power will be centralized in the Midwest. No longer DC. No longer DC. Let's keep going. Something new. Trying something new. People are scared to death. But they've got to do something else. This is the government we're talking about. Okay. What's in the central? What is in the isolated good within? Hold on. Well, that energy came with the hermit. Hold on a second. Um, let me pull out the Lenormands to see what this is all about here. That's centralizing. That was the isolation. What next year? What are they centralizing? The power. Centralized power resources. Power and resources are centralizing to the Midwest in the Midwest. What does this mean? Clarify the hermit. Clarify centralization. Hmm. The power. Okay, I'm. It doesn't. I have long-term commitment. Major changes again. Transformation. Major changes for the improvement. What the heck is getting ready to hit here? Hidden protections. Let's keep going. There's the wheat and there's the shaft. Look, something's gnawing away. Or maybe that's what it, okay. Maybe there's a power base building within the central United States that needs to be checked out. Because here's the central, here's the wheat and the shaft. That's central US. And over here we have things gnawing away at it. Let's keep going. Oh, it's getting ready to get okay, okay. We have two different cultures here. Where's your loyalty lie? Okay, okay, I got this. Um, but it's always been like that. Folks in the middle, folks in the central section of the country have come to a point where they want to just be separate from the rest of the country. And they're trying to centralize. Yeah, it will be short term and temporary though. Um, mm, I don't know what to say about that. So we're going to see some more of that next year by next year. Jeez, oh whiz. Um, because they feel left out. Mm. Something's going to be made. There's a celebration. We're going to pull it together some kind of way. We're going to keep the United States of America, United States of America. Yes. All 50 states and then some. Okay, we have territories. Okay, what about the people in the middle? They'll be fine once they come to their senses. Okay, so we're getting ready to go. Oh boy. You know, China has bought a lot of property up in Central America. I mean, Central U.S. Central U.S. Spirit said that's problematic too. Folks, be mindful of what you hear and who you listen to. Be mindful of what you see. If it doesn't feel right, it ain't right. And for those of you who wince at any bad grammar, if it does not feel proper, not just proper and appropriate, if it's something that hits you in your gut, then it's something wrong. Use the standard American principles. Use the Constitution as your guide right now. I hate to say it, but not the Bible, the Constitution as your guide, because the Bible has been taken and weaponized against Christians and against the U.S. And I'll stand on that because here is a whole different lifestyle that someone is trying to enforce. Now, there's that betrayal I was telling you about, how they weaponized the Bible. Ten of Swords. You can't get any worse off than that. And the problem is always we're going to have a new life. I mean, the promise. It's going to be great for everyone. People will be the just what they were meant to be. It'll be the natural order of things. Watch out for the natural order of things if you're not used to watching Natural Geographic, because then you probably don't understand the natural order of things. And money. We'll have more money now than we ever had before. Our money will not be spent on those who don't know how to live their own lives, on those who have allowed their desires to determine their life, on those who fill in the blank, whatever the sermon is. Yeah, it's going to cause a lot of worry. A lot of worry is going to be because it's going to be obvious. Yeah, and control is going to have emotional control. This is where I tell you to ground yourself. But the government is going to have, these are the feds now. The government is going to have to take control over a situation that impacts the nation. That's a standstill. That's an absolute standstill. And so that tells you it might be rough. We're talking about anything from labor unions, food growers. The country comes to a standstill. And what gets me is it's still looking at outside sources, foreign sources for supply. Look at, and this guy has sent his knight out there, foreign sources, to bring foreign sources in, foreign resources, foreign resources, foreign resources. That means anywhere from manpower to funds to food to what? Cobalt to whatever, semiconductors, whatever it is that we determine that we can't do or have not produced for ourselves. It's coming from the outside of this country. And when it gets here, it very well may not be as a positive situation as was expected. Hold on to what you got. That's the Four of Pentacles. And that's what we're trying to do as a nation. People are asking questions and they want answers now. Yeah, about that. Where are those funds now? Come on, you're going to tell us what happened to that $71 trillion. We've been patient. DA wants to know. She's going to be my DA card, the Queen of Swords. The king might be the judge, but she's the DA. And whatever happens, it's going to happen very quickly. Eight of Wands. And there's going to be a lot of regret because people, places, and ooh, look at this, honey. The lies of the past, the lies of the past will be officially exposed. Is officially, and they will be put to rest for a whole new beginning. And then people are going to start, they're going to make the decision and they're going to start planting seeds of love in this country. People are going to see how they've been duped. Mm. I can stop right there. I can stop right there. Because this is wheat from the shaft, separating from the shaft. Some people are going to be absolutely stuck. Oh, absolutely stuck at the destruction of their organization, of life as they know it. Once those lies are told, some decisions are going to have to be made. And some of those decisions are going to be separations. And they're going to be, some of them might be very public. Some of them may very well have to do with cultural things, organizations, families. A lot of anxiety is going to be propping up. Here's a lot here. Look at this. Anxiety. We have the king and queen of the emotions. King and queen of the emotions exposed. In other words, these are hidden stories. They're not people here. These aren't people. These are hidden emotions, hidden secrets that have generated a great deal of anxiety and things. The untold story will be told as to how we got in this place, in this space we're in, where the money really went, how we had programs and things set up for, you know, how things that were funded became earmarked and the money was taken away, how things were changed, how people were left behind and abandoned, how people were allowed to go homeless, how people were allowed to be hungry with programs in place, how people walked away and withdrew, lost faith in the country. Hmm. How people who stayed and stuck it out and were almost crippled for the sake of the corporation, the family, the legacy, those who stayed became the stars, created new alliances, new relationships. Some are talking about whenever we have a crisis in the world, there are people who are going to leave the situation and people who are going to stand and stick it out. Um, and it's come what may, whatever happens, we're going to deal with it as it comes. And what also happens is while those are staying to stick it out, you have others who are coming in to do their little manipulations, their little hocus pocus. Steal this when nobody's looking. Put this over there when nobody's looking, to make things work for them and theirs. And it's created this an instability because things that should have worked don't work, and we don't understand why. And when it comes to restoring the balance, why has been exposed, people have been exposed, situations have been exposed. Yeah, and a lot of times the government, yeah, the government's going to get into it because crimes have been taking place. And here's the victory card. And it's victory for someone. These are probably the folks who stayed to stick it out. Should I put one more bit of energy in this situation? Yeah, because you'll make it through. And here's card celebration. And it didn't, that celebration wasn't an easy thing to get through. Okay? Because those secrets were absolutely, that came out. Mm-hmm. Woo. You're going to have some secrets that have tainted the world. Tainted the world. And here we go again with the female. The Empress in this case also talks about things that have expanded, things, lies and situations, addictions, practices, certain practices, unhealthy practices, all that kind of stuff came out and expanded into the world. Mm-mm-mm. And, I hate to say it, but some of those practices were perpetrated. The manipulations, the thing behind the back, some of those practices came from the society itself and society's institutions, giving us false, empty cups, giving the people empty cups. Fake alliances will stop, fake marriages will drop, and people will just like shake their heads and get tired of fighting and like, just let me, I'm ready to take that slow boat somewhere else. I just want to get out of here. Which remind, yeah, and the whole world is watching now. People are digging, people are investigating. And really, what they're going to come up with, they're going to come up with different ways that you're going to have to. When I say they, I'm talking about the people, the organization, the policies, the government will be putting together different policies, maybe even different laws to catch things like this. You know, what look? Yeah, oh, here he is. He himself, the judge, to catch those shady deals and things like that. They're manipulations. They're absolutely manipulations. And oh, just wait. We're going to find out information about certain. That's not a country. That is. We have some teachings. What's going on here? Oh, my battery. Teachings about ways to make people feel insecure, mind control. That kind of stuff is getting exposed. A lot of mental confusion will be taking place, but also in the same token, there'll be those who will be grounded like us, and we're going to watch it. We're going to watch the chaos. We're going to be able to put the finger on it. It comes from right there. And then we're going to watch it fall apart. And our blood pressure will be fine. Okay. All right. And on that note, I am running. Ah, Kia, if Mystic is on, I'm gonna hang up anyway, but I gotta go now. It's nice that you stopped by, sweetheart. I'm going to. I haven't seen Mystic in a minute. She's always on when I'm sleeping, so I'm gonna wrap this up because I've been on here a while, and I have 15% battery life left on this thing, so I've got to go. Thank you, folks, for coming in to see me. And I hope you can take something from this. If nothing else, please stay grounded. Eyes open, mouth shut, ears open. And I'm wishing you much love. Okay. And I actually learned how to turn this thing off. Okay. Much love, folks. Until the next time I see you. Maybe I'll have some celebrity dirt.